Hello guys, my name's Billy Moore and this is the Billy Moore podcast. My special guest today is Jeff Ollerhead, YouTube sensation. Sung a song about Purple Aki and it went galactic. Tell us about it.
Well, it was a true story, Bill. You know, people don't ask me in the street and say, you know, that song's great, it was really funny. And I said, well, you know, was it true? And I said, yeah, it's true. Not bragging or whatever, it's like a part of my life which I'll never forget, being on a spiral down slope, coming up the army, and I ended up getting into trouble with drink, becoming violent and fighting and stuff like that. And I ended up in Walton, and on the occasion, on A-wing, I went to an A-wing, which was like the enhanced wing, where they reckon that if you're a good prisoner, toe the line, do your job, stay off the drugs, stuff, you'll get enhanced. And, you know, with enhanced, you get like special privileges, like, you know, you get a good job in there.
Had you been away before?
Well, no. I've done 15 years in the army, you know.
What regiment was you in?
I was in the King's Regiment, that's the Liverpool, Manchester Regiment.
And my brother was in there, yeah.
That's right, that's the connection with your Tony, and I was actually his section commander, believe it or not.
Was you?
Yeah.
So you spent 15 years in the British Army?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Sorry, 14 years, yeah.
What did you do prior to that? What did you do in the army before?
Do you know what? When I joined the King's Regiment, you join as an infantryman soldier, where you're on the front line. I think I got like sort of asked to go in there because obviously the regiment itself was prided itself with boxing and football, which is obviously at the time what I loved the both sports. I'm lucky enough when I joined the regiments, they gave me a chance to have you know, well, basically it was like milling. I don't even know what milling, Bill, but they just line you up and say right from the tallest man to the shortest man, get in line. And then they come individually and stand the person next to you, well, in front of you, who you're going to be fighting. Yeah. And luckily for me, I had experience through my granddad owned at the West Wirral Boxing Club. Yeah. And from an early age, it was always straight punching. Just learning how to punch straight and to get on your feet. He said boxing is hitting without getting hit. I didn't learn, obviously, you know, like yourself.
Took a few punches.
It's easy to think you can slip, you know, but you're always going to get caught.
Yeah, it's like Mike Tyson says that we've all got a plan until we get punched in the face. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, Mike Tyson himself, I watched some of his podcasts with the boxing, and he comes across like, you know, everyone thinks he's a really feared man, but, you know, he speaks the truth, and as I said, you can get hit. But anyway, yeah, where were we? King's Regiment, the King's Regiment.
King's Regiment, boxing, your career in the army. Where did boxing in the army take you?
To be honest with you, I made it to the top. I was the combined service boxing champion. That was my best title, which is the best you can reach in the forces, which then goes on to the ABAs. I won the junior army team championships. That was like the army when I joined the juniors. And then I went to the King's Regiment, and I went to went on trial, which is a big story, with a fella called Sergeant Major Bug, that was his name, Clive Bug, and he was the coach, and it was very barbaric. It was a case of you get in there, put your gloves on, and they'll put two onto you, and you had to fight two people at one time, and if you could hack that without getting punched. But you're talking not, I mean, people think sparring is like light tapping. You were fighting for your position. Either that or you get your kit and you go and do your duties, and that's like 24 hours staggering on. And it's, as a soldier, people don't realise, but there's a lot of, you got to like do your stag on, which means that you got to sit in a shelter on a stag or on a guard room for like 24 hours, but you can't get changed and go to bed. You got to wear your kit and your boots and stuff like that, you know.
So what age was you when you joined the army?
16, Bill.
So you were quite young, really.
16.
You got involved in boxing pretty early.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see any combat?
Yeah, I went to Northern Ireland for 2 years. That was after Berlin. And again, we'd done a lot of work in Londonderry or Derry, and also the bogs. That was the bog side. And that was action every day. We'd go out there in like patrol cars, and we'd get bricked. We'd get freaking we got fired at. You know, there was always a case of roadside bombs, which we lost. 5 lads. Whilst on that tour, that was the worst one, Bill. It happened on Victor 2. It was a checkpoint. If you can imagine, like Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, there's a border, and there was one road called the Buchanan Road, which come from Southern Ireland into Londonderry or Derry, and there was a checkpoint. So what the IRA done, they got hold of a civilian worker, an Irish lad who worked in the army camps as a cook, obviously just to get a job. His name was Gillespie, I always remember that. And they got hold of him, took him to his house, tied him up, put a gun to his head, got his family in, and said, if you don't drive this van, which has got explosives, £1,000 bomb.
Well, like a suicide?
So
he had to choose.
You had to choose. You had to go in this van. If it doesn't go off, then you're lucky. If it goes off, you're dead. But if you don't do it, then we're going to kill your family as well. And obviously being a proud father and whatever, he just went, just come and do it. So they strapped him in, Billy, with a booby trap as well, so he couldn't get out. And he drove the van all the way into the checkpoint. And obviously when he's into the checkpoint, he was screaming, and there's a fucking bomb. You can imagine, you know, obviously I wasn't there, but he had the booby trap, which would have set the bomb up, but also the IRA had a radio-controlled detonator. So they're over at the hill, like a mile away, and they're watching the truck go in, detonated. Billy, I actually went there, you know, on the aftermath, and it was like...
While on patrol?
Well, at the time, I was over in Brunei, believe it or not, in the jungle, doing an expedition. But when we come back, our company was then guarding the crater. Well, it was the checkpoint, because the checkpoint had to still be manned, because that was the only road in and out. And it was like a football pitch with like a meteor hit it, because the extent. And we lost 5 Kingsmen, lads. The saddest one is, Billy, was a fella who I trained with, and his name was Chris Beecham, who was close to Chris through training. And he was on the checkpoint that night. And what happened is, 2 days before, his missus had his son, had a baby. But because he wasn't married, they wouldn't give him leave to go and see his son. And it's so sad that, you know, he shouldn't really be on that checkpoint. So he lost his life and never seen his son. And every year we do a memorial for the Kings regiments, for all the soldiers who lost their lives over in Northern Ireland from the 1960s, from the 70s onwards. It's crazy really, because how times have changed, you know, with the concept. But most of the lads that I talk to all come from like Liverpool backgrounds or Manchester. And as you probably well know, you know, there's a lot of Irish families in Liverpool, you know, Catholic. I was a Roman Catholic, and it always dawned to me that we were fighting our own people. But as I spoke to like later years with some Irish friends, and he said, you're never going to change, because it's like Germans coming to Liverpool and patrolling around with guns, and they see it as that. I said, what are you doing on our turf?
Exactly, yeah.
So politically, you know, it's one of them. It's a.
So you felt like you were thrown into something back then that it wasn't even your problem.
Well, I always remember, Bill, arriving there, and it said...
What year was that?
1990.
Really? So, yeah.
89, 90, yeah. And it said, have you got a will? And at the time, I was just 18. I was 18, yeah. 19, come on. And I looked at it and I thought, wow. And that song at the time was 19. And I remember the Vietnam. And I just thought... Loads
of fear going on.
Loads of fear going on. And all the lads were just like, and what happened was, it happened that fast where I was in A company, and we got sent straight away to County Tyrone, Dungannon, middle of winter, and within that night I was on patrol, and I always remember lock and loading at the loading bay, where you're putting your ammunition in, and you're loading up your gun, and you're going out there, you're going out to Bandito country where, and it was snowing, Bill, and as I went on patrol, I remember saying, everyone, you know, I prayed. Wasn't that religious, but believe me, when your life's at risk, you pray to be protected. Yeah. And as I was walking, Bill, I don't know if you ever look at when a lamppost, because it was urban, it's like walking into like a proper like Liverpool, a built-up area, urban estate, and the snow was coming down, and in the light, I just couldn't see nothing. And I thought, you know what? If I was looking in a house with a gun, I was just like a sitting duck. So at first we were all whizzing round like headless chickens, you know, and the fear. But our job out there was just like, was to stop cars, VCPs, where you got the power to jump in the middle of the road with your weapon, stop the car, get them out the car and search them. You know, you'd set up sorts of, or you could stop individual people. And to be honest with you, I thought, I've never done this in my life, you know. And I felt bad with people, because you got to stop them in the street, because what it was, these officers were like, right, search him. So you just say straight away, by the laws and regulations of such and such, you had like a card to read out to them. And they're like, that, will you just fuck off, you know? They're like, will you fuck off, Brit bastard? Why are you fucking doing? I'm just going home. And you're like, look, with the gun, but me, I'm very trying to be like civil, you know, with them, and it's hard, Bill. In the end, you're like, look, you know the score, know the drill. We're gonna say it, he's gonna point his weapon. I'm gonna pat you down. Okay, simple as that. And but the worst thing was that the IRA were doing. They were putting bombs or weapons in prams. So a mother and a child would be walking down with the pram. And you'd have to search them. Now, 99% out of them, the mothers with babies. Yeah. I felt bad, Bill, because sometimes you go and they're looking at you, you bastard. Yeah. You know, you felt like a German, like a Nazi. Yeah. I hated that. I will say it, you know, I was like, and I hated doing it, you know, and that's why with the boxing, I was made up. Yeah. Because realistically, my intent was just to go and play sport. Yeah. At the time, and I was lucky enough to do the boxing. So that's where my hunger when I was fighting in the ring was unseen.
Do you think that do you think you suffered with any PTSD, or did that have an impact? Yeah. Going forward, did that have an impact on your life, where eventually you've ended up in prison? Did you ever like conjure up in your worst nightmares the fact that you'd be sitting in a prison cell?
No.
After serving for the British Army, and was it so drinking and the army go hand in hand? I know that. Yeah. No, from my family, a lot of my family are in the army, and it goes hand in hand. Out bevying, this is how it is. Did that get a grip of you?
It did, Bill. Seriously, it did, because when I was boxing, right, I was trained. Just a quick story. When I was dedicated. Yeah. And you know, I reached the age of 30 with a great career. I was getting my sergeants. I was the army coach. With the boxing, I became the combined service champion, and I held that for over 2 years, going to the third year. But after the last fight, I boxed a fella called Jason Matthews, and that's on my YouTube. And after that, I was getting headaches and stuff like that. So I went, they sent me for a scan and found that it's called lesions, which is like scar tissue. I got injured in Ireland. As I said, I was on tour with either a brick or a rock to my face while I was on patrol, and that knocked me for 6, or was the boxing. But either way, I was scarred, and they said, right, you stop your boxing now. Your boxing career is over. Yeah. And at the time, with the medical conditions, they were looking at me because what I could do was blackouts.
Yeah.
So they were looking at if I was on patrol, my whole career had to change, and it hit me because all of a sudden I was in the highlights of boxing. I was training every day. I had to focus. You know, I was number 4 in the country. My last rating was along with Joe Kawasaki, Wayne Alexander, Glenn Catley, all like world champions. So
yeah, so you
I was up there. I was, I'd say I was a contender. You know,
so you were teaching at what you were doing.
I was doing very well. You know, and
so when did it all go downhill, Jeff?
as I said, they said I got that scan, and they said my boxing career was over, and then the army sent me home on a rest leave to wonder what they were gonna do. And I come home and I was like, it sounds funny, but I was depressed, where I was just sitting in the house. So I'd go out to socialise, and I never had the chance. It sounds nuts. Over them years, I never really went and partied. All of a sudden, all the lads that I knew were all into that time. It was like the rave scene, and welcome to the world of ecstasy.
You've missed out.
I missed out like a dog with 2 dicks. And it's I don't know if you know. It's just I got a nickname called Halloween because my second name's Ollerhead. Yeah. So one of the lads called me Halloween because every time I go out it was a fucking nightmare. Yeah. But I ended up in like I couldn't get enough. I was drinking, thinking I don't have to train tomorrow. Fuck you. And you know what? It was just for me. It was great at the time when you're doing it, but then I'd get up next morning, and my friends, my mate Barney at the time, one of my best friends who grew up with him, he's like, "Do you know what you done last night? You twatted someone without even knowing, because he looked at you strange, and he was saying always, and you were paranoid." And I was like, "Oh my fucking God!" And he was like, "Oh look, you're fucking nuts. You just went off your head." I said, "I can't remember," and I didn't. So, hence the night when I got arrested, when I punched a police fella, and I hit him unconscious. Made the papers, army champion, Fells officer or something. Yeah. In the it's disgraceful. I was thinking, what the hell are you doing? Because I didn't know. I woke up the next day in the cells, and there was like a big line of like all the police, they're all waiting. And I was like, "Morning, it was lads, you okay?" And they looked at me, and it was like, so I went to the desk. I started having flashbacks on all my face because they battered me. When I hit this busy and he knocked them out, I carried on running. I come out of a club. I was at the time with a girl called Claire, great, and she was my missus, and she got like sexually assaulted in a club. One of the lads fucking grabbed over one of the lads, and so they ended up punching him, then having a fight with the bouncers. The bouncers lobbed me out, and the police were there, and they were saying he's assaulted someone. So I seen the busies coming, I just give a toes up the hill. But as I'm running up this friggin' hill, I'm so like vexed anyway what happened in the club. And this police fella was running up behind. I thought, what am I running away from him for? And straight away I've turned round, and instead of fight or flight, in my head I thought, right, just knock him out, and then that's that problem eradicated a bit, and then we'll carry on. And I hit him. He went down, and I carried on, but then I got caught, and the worst decision in my life I've ever done. And I got fucking hammered by him, which rightly so.
Did you go to prison?
Yeah, well that was it. There was like a Monopoly game, go to jail.
How many times have you been to prison?
3 times.
3 times.
3 times, 3 sentences.
So, right, you started your life, you've joined the army, you've got a career, in the army, you've boxed, you've shaved. Yeah. In Ireland, you've experienced conflict, fear, you've suffered with PTSD, you've resorted to drinking and going out, blacking out, violence, contributing factors are kicking in here, right? So you're in prison. Where was you your first time away, Jeff?
Walton, straight to Walton.
Is this where you met?
That was the first occasion.
Yeah.
When he sets eyes on him, like, and he's like, you know what I mean? And he was on a different wing, so But obviously he was there, he was floating around. And
so when was it that, tell me about that, because I'm quite, you know, I'm interested to, you know, your experiences with...
So when I got to know him anyway, it was the last time I went in, over frigging again, fighting. It was a horrible experience. Ended up in jail, and it was funny really, because as I said, when it was on A wing and the ants wing, and the next morning I woke up and I got up my cell to get me water, and I looked in and there he was, Purple Aki, like the whole, like 7 foot of him, like that.
And as you heard about him before?
Yeah, I know who he was, you know, because we were kids. I don't know if you know about this. I know I've seen one of your stories, Bill. Just me and my brother, Cliffy, were walking over in Morton, down Sambrook Lane, and our kid went, "There's Purple Aki there." And I went, "Who the Purple?" He went, "Purple Aki." Fuck these. But what made me laugh was, at the time, my mother used to work in Cadbury's, right? So we were fed on like a Cadbury's diet, you know, like Chocky Bickies. Yeah. So me and our kid were like podgy kids. So we sweared, me and our kids.
No muscles.
There was no muscles there, was the kids, you know. But you know, the fear, and it went deadly silence, and our kid was going, "Don't look at him, just keep on." But I was fascinated, going, size of this fucking, you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, and then obviously the stories came out. Yeah. He killed one of the lads. Well, he that's what he got done for, didn't he? He chased. There
was something about.
He chased one of the Birkenhead lads on the line. He was a footballer, and you know, an up and coming football star. And Aki took a shine to him, and he chased him, and he went on the line, on the prison, on the rail line.
Well, you know, I've had experience as well with Arabiki, and I was 16 years old. I just jumped off the bus on Upper Parliament Street. I had a kit bag over my shoulder, and I've heard whistling behind me, and I've looked, and there's this big, huge black guy standing there, and he's whistling, he's smiling, and he's very jovial. And he's all right there, mate. Yeah, just be in the gym. And I went, well, yeah. He says, "You're looking well." And I was getting a bit of affirmation, so I'm starting thinking, yeah, really? You know what I mean? Someone's acknowledging me. He says, yeah. He says, "How big are your biceps now?" Like that. Squeezing them like that, about 15 inches. So he's grabbing them. He's going, yeah, they're solid then. Next episode, he says, do you know the biggest muscle in your body is in your leg? Sensei. And it clicked. Big, black, feeling muscles. This is the
so you've had hands-on experience.
This is Purple Aki, I've had hands-on experience. And I said, look, I've got to go. The fear kicked in. I ran to my mars, and he was jogging next to me. I'm sprinting, and this fella's just jogging next to me. Where are you going here, lad? I'm only small. I ran to my mars and gets in the house. And next thing, I was screaming, shut the door, and she ran up the stairs and was, what's going on? She said, Purple Aki. Next thing, he's banging on the door. My mum went, leave it with me, I'll go and sort this out. She goes downstairs, what do you fucking want? Get away from my son. But mate, it was like, I've had a few.
Do you know what the chow cheeky's that? Do you know when you
he knocked at me Mars, mate, he knocked at me Mars. Right. I was like, wow. That was it. Every time I went on the shit, you know, I was only a kid. Little knobbly knees, the lot. Every time I went out, I was in full-blown anxiety mode. Paranoid, scared, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's a traumatic experience.
It is,
you know,
especially, you know.
So you think about it, he had the what he's chased you.
Yeah.
You know, so he's got you in a position which
quite vulnerable.
Against the law, against the law, you know, straight away, that's a crime itself, because you're like, look, mate, I'm not into what you're thinking of. Yeah. That's where Darren G must, you know, I watched Darren G's interview about him, and he said, Purple Aki's a nonce. Yeah. And I said, well, what is nonce? I mean, nonce used to be put on the doors in prison when it was not of normal crime element. And, you know, Purple Aki hasn't been done for like sort of rape or stuff like that, but he comes under the category, doesn't he, of not of normal crime elements. what surprises me, Bill, is why he was let on the normal wings.
Yeah.
You know, this goes back to where I was.
Yeah, she ate.
Do you know what he done on the wing, Bill?
No.
He was a shower cleaner. He cleaned the showers. Do you know what? How mad is that? So you're living next door. I live next door to him, and I'm thinking, what's his job? And there he was, cleaning the showers. So the whole wing was stinking, Billy. There's no lad's gonna go and get a shower with that. He like down the mop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. But
Was everyone afraid of him, isn't it?
Well, they're all like, this is a bit weird, this. But with lads, I must admit, like, there was some crazy lads on our wing where, you know, there's fames, isn't he? And you meet, lucky enough, I met lads who were fucking famed up, you know, I'm not going to mention names, because, you know, but the thing is, there was, you know, there was like a gang, fucking, they were like, fucking hell, crazy this. And we'd go to the shower, we'd go to the gym. Now, Aki was barred in the gym, you know. Yeah. I don't know, there you go, he's barred, but...
I think he's barred from every gym in the country, isn't he?
When you come back and the lads had the vest on, they were all like sweating, he was there. Like, you can see him getting like, you know... And I did confront him, you know, that's the thing is, he'd come in the cell, right? He'd come in our cell, have a coffee, and I you know, I got on with him, because you just had to get on with him. He was there, you know what I mean? And, oh, well, yeah, get a coffee, and then he'd say to me, what you're in for? And I'd say the violence, I was drinking, you know, and it's you know, I was like, and then I'd say to him, look, Aki, what's going on with your game? What's you know, what's your game? And he'd deny it. It was nonsense, you know. Yeah.
So, what was your feelings about him as your
It's dangerous, you know. You gotta realise when you're in the midst of him. Yeah. When you're in the midst of him, you know, he's a presence, and with the size of him and statue, you know, he actually had a fight with me, you know. He got me in a toy fight, which is. I'll sing a song about it. It was like, I don't know, we had tellies in this enhanced wing, because you were good and you get tellies and stuff. So at that time, it was the boxing week, it was the Muhammad Ali week, and everyone was watching the boxing fellas. And Aki, his other job was, he used to put your canteen sheet through your door, which had your name, your number, how much you got. And stuff like that. So you can imagine on a Friday in Walton, everyone's just sitting there. Next minute, the flap gets open, he's on your bed, and there's his head going like that. And he was like that. And at the time, he'd look at me, because he knew about my reputation of being a boxer. He goes, oh, I'm the king of the wing, and all this. And I was,
to you?
Yeah, and I was just messing around in the door, throwing punches, going, no, I'm the king, I'll do you with the jab. Just messing around for the banter, you know what I mean? Little did I know that he obviously took it serious. Hey, and I'm up on one time, up in the fives, which is 5 landings, and there used to be like a listening pad where they had a toaster. Yeah. And a fucking toaster in jail is amazing, because you get mackerel in it. Anyway, so I'm playing fucking chess with a lad, Jed Bailey, charm lad he was, playing chess, and he just stopped, he went, and looked at me, and I went, and there he was, right behind me. What he'd done, he just picked me up. I mean, look, I'm at the time, I was about 17 or fucking, 16 to 17 stone, and he just picked me up.
Literally, then, just picked you up.
Well, that, and then pile drive me. Next minute, I'm on the fucking floor, flat out. Aki's on top of me. I couldn't fucking breathe because my false teeth, I had these false teeth from boxing, not without any gum shields. They went down my friggin' throat. So I'm choking. I had Aki on me, and I was just, I thought in the end it's submitted, but I went limp, and in my head thinking, just be gentle, It's sad really, but he got up then, I'm only messing, but obviously I was all flustered to fuck. I was like, what are you fucking doing? I'm the king of the wing. Alright, okay, alright. And then I realised then. But I used to go, I used to mess around with him. I used to go up to him and go, with his muscles, and he'd be standing going, get off his leg. You know how it feels now, doesn't it? Yeah. But the funny story, which I will tell you about, was that these lads from Wigan, or I think they were out of town as like proper like, not, I don't know, what kind of, but they come in, they were like little M&A fighters, so they're all fit lads.
I was made up there, was he?
Made up, oh listen to this, this lad walked in the wing first day, and there's no way he was wearing a friggin' vest.
On the wing?
On the wing, so I thought, oh no. And you know what, he was chiselled, you know what I mean, he had the body, and you're thinking, fair enough. Next minute I see Aki just goes up to him, and straight away the conversation was, "Yeah, you're looking in great shape," and I was, "Oh, yeah, I'm into doing all that. A bit of M&A, do a bit of weight." So Aki said, "Do us a favour," said, "Get on the bar."
Yeah.
There's display, the pipes.
Yeah.
Get on the pipe. How many pull-ups can you do? Because the record's 20.
Yeah.
And I mean, straight down, straight up. Oh, 20, I smashed that, you know. So straight away, he's up there and he's fucking going for it, this lad. And Aki's behind going, "No, don't cheat. Getting the grip. He's actually having a little fondle. So, meanwhile, me and all the lads were like on the friggin' land. They go, "Look at this. This is like proper, like, it's happening here, this lad." And no word of a lie, like, the lad's like, "All right, if you want anything." But he had his mate. So every friggin' association, him and his mate would go out and start grappling, doing M&A fighting. And they're on the floor and submissive. And Aki is in awe of it. Going, "Hang on, lads, if you get me on this choke." And they had Aki everywhere on chokes. He was rolling around. And, you know, no word of a lie. Like, you can see, you know, the old jail trackies. And, you know, this fucking thing was like, you could see it. I was like, "Oh, no, oh." So anyway, was on the savoury. I used to work on the cleaners, on the savoury. You dish out the food to them. And they'd come along, this lad. And one of the lads went, "There's Aki's bitch." That was his name. "What do you mean?" "Aki's bitch." "Oh, you're on a dish now." 3 days later, he went, what are you going on about? "I'm called Aki's bitch." Aki? Purple Aki? "I've heard about it, yeah." And then the fucking penny dropped. Yeah. Honest to God. It's right straight to friggin' one of the screws. But the screws are loving it, aren't they? Because it's their little laughing.
It's got a humour for them, it's just entertainment.
So they give Aki the shower cleaner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, do you know what they're doing, don't they?
That's what I'm saying. They thought that this is like the biggest fucking play going.
So, yeah. And
I want to get off the wing. I don't really want to go away. And the Aki's going, and he's seeing his arse, Aki. He was growling because all of a sudden his little wrestling, playmates, his love affair was over. And I was like that. Then obviously they're looking at me. Then, you know what I mean? But there you go. I mean, that was like the maddest, like one of the maddest things I've ever seen.
Wow.
But he was like he's like a barrister, isn't he? Because obviously people come on the wing and he gets in their heads. Because he's got no telly in his pad, you know, he doesn't watch nothing. All Archibald, all books on law.
Very intelligent, isn't he? I believe. I remember I had to go to court quite a lot in my youth. And Purple Aki, he'd always be sitting in the back of the courts with a pen and paper. And I'd be downstairs, right? I'd be going up and I'd be up for a bail app. And the first thing he'd ask you is, can you give us your name and your address? And you'd look behind you and there he was.
Yeah.
And I'd just go straight away, NFA, which was no fixed about. Yeah. There was no way I was letting anyone know, especially him, where I lived, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'd rather suffer him, man. But yeah, he was, that was one of his hunting grounds, wasn't it? Courts. So, and I believe that he was trying to, whatever he was trying to do was...
Well, just what you're saying on lines, right? Can you imagine though, look, let's get serious, right? If your son, right, your son gets attacked by a child molester, i.e. molesting, what he's doing, he's not feeling, he's molesting because, that's the word, isn't it? Because he's having a go. It's for his own gratification, his sexual gratification. Straight away, you want him to be fucking either put down, dead. You know what I mean? That's the word. They don't realise, because you'd be fuming. But for some reason, he got away with it, didn't he? Because obviously
a loophole in the way he was
stature. But even in the courts, now if he was, say for instance, he got found guilty for chasing young Kelly on the line and killed. And then Birkenhead families have suffered, you know, and they're taking away his son. And next minute he's sitting in court with his fucking notebook. You know, where is the law to say, hang on a minute, do me a favour, what are you writing?
Yeah, there was a few rumours going around back in the day that you know, he was working for a few firms and he was getting all information of like all the scallies and where they lived. So if anyone needed to know where anyone was, he was the go-to fella. Whether it was true, I don't know. But also, I'd come across him a few times. He'd chased me a few times through the years because me, being a little half-faced fucker as I was at the time.
You were boxing at the time,
but with that experience, and you said like getting at an early age, someone squeezing your muscles, right? It's like that shit affects you. Don't care who you are. It has an impact on you, on you growing up. So every time I saw him, I'd be giving him loads, and he'd chase me. And I'll tell you what, mate, I'd be bombing it. I'd turn the corner and he'd be standing there. How we got there, I don't know. He was elusive. He was like a ghost. Boom. And he'd go, what did you say? I'd be white as a ghost and I'd be gone again, you know what I mean? So he was...
It's the power issue. I mean, obviously, the lads don't realise, because I've seen him get assaulted, you know, and he's bounced 6 lads off him like there was like a transformer, you know. He'd grab you, you know, and with the size of him, you know, you're a fucking, if he gets older, it's, I don't give a shit who you are, whatever. He's got 24 stone of fucking, and just twist you up and that. So
what if you had all that going on, right, Jeff, what possessed you to write a song and then sing it and then put it on YouTube?
Because it was just an experience, you know. I come from my family were always sense of humour, you know, that's the main thing. If you can't laugh about it, you know, if you can't cry about it, laugh about it. And it was just getting off my chest, thinking, what the fuck has just happened to me? All right, so I'd done a crime and done my time, but in between, man, and there, you know, it was criminal how they sort of left you and stuff like that. Do you get what I mean? If the screws are buzzing, you know, like to thinking, we'll put them on the wing. And you think, fucking hang on a minute, you're in for this. I don't want to be a soap, but hence. So you sung this song and you brought your guitar with you, haven't you? Oh yeah. I've got to do those that haven't heard Jeff's song. He brought his guitar along to play the tune. If you don't mind, Jeff. It's been a long time, baby. He's 7 foot tall and he's big and black. And when I've got all the showers, I've got to watch my back. But for 2 years now, I've been living next door to Aki. Aki, Purple fucking Aki. He came into my cell on the first day. In my mind, I said, fuck off and go away. Cause I caught him looking at my muscles. He thinks I'm Batman from Brussels. Don't know what I'm doing or why I'm singing this, because if he gets the wind, he knows I'm taking the piss, and I don't want to be shitting from a nappy getting bumped by Purple Aki. I'm only joking, ho ho ho. Don't want my arsehole to receive a poking. Well, I'm not being queer, I'm not being gay, but when I was in the showers the other day, he must have been 14 inches on the floor. It was like a cucumber. He bombed the fucking cop. I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm singing this. He does me gets the wind. He knows I'm taking a piss, and I don't want to be shitting from a nappy getting bombed by Purple Aki. I'm only joking. Don't want my underpants to get soaking. Did I tell you the time when I had the toy fight? He picked me up the head and he squoze me like shite. Then I felt this bulge against my leg. This bulge was like a keg. I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm singing this, cause if he gets the wind, he knows I'm taking the piss, and I don't want to be shitting from a nappy getting mummed by Purple Aki. Here you go. Well in.
So you sung that song, you posted it on YouTube, and how was it received?
It went mad because I didn't realise it.
Get back to the mic, mate.
Here we go, sorry,
Here we go.
Testing. So, it was just in the garden, you know, I was just sitting in the back garden, I was just arsing around, and with that song itself, because obviously I was thinking, fucking hell, you know, when you go back and I just put it on, I thought, you know, everyone's having a laugh on YouTube. It was a nice summer's day, and I'm sitting there with the vest on, looked like a gypsy, and I just went for it.
Look like that kid from Wigan.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I put it on. Now, the thing is, I missed out really.
Yeah.
Because I put it on and it went, but I deleted it because I got up because I was thinking, fucking hell, I don't want this to go freaking too much because obviously with the renditions, and for some reason I deleted it. So really, I didn't get as much the viewing, but everyone was sharing it, so I couldn't delete it in the end, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And I went fucking mad. So within 2 days, I'm walking in Liverpool, shopping, and I come across and everyone was like looking at me strange, or people are coming up to me going, I know your face, are you the Aki man? Yeah. I was like, I'm not the Aki man, but I'm Jeff, yeah, I've done the song. Oh, it was brilliant. And it was like instant sort of like recognition, you know, and I was like, fucking hell. And then the funniest was like, I mean, obviously kids were coming up to me, I was going, oh, fucking hell. You know, they're watching that. It was like, you know, 18 content. That's what the impact in my head. Thinking, oh, fucking, I'm singing that. Then I'm getting like, hey, our kid's singing your song there, you know. I'm like, oh, no. But lo and behold, it was, you know, it's just a mess around with words, and I just find it funny, you know. But then we met him. Yeah. I was out with Karen, you know, my partner, Kags.
Well, you met Aki himself.
Yeah, I was at Birkenhead Market, believe it or not. Yeah. And I was just walking with
Do you think he did this song, by the way?
Yeah. He went fucking... he wasn't happy anyway. As I'm in Birkenhead Market, I'm with Kags, and I'm just like looking around thinking... And then I could see him, because it was like you could see people like headlines, and there he was, all of a sudden. And I went so...
Was he staring at you?
No, he was coming towards me, and I thought, because I'm a pretty big lad myself, and he just picked me out. Jeff, I went straight away, you know, this is me Mrs. Kags, this is Aki. And she's like, no, Dad, Kags dead down to earth, and he's like, look, Jeff, you know, no more fucking songs. I said, I've only done the one song, you know. I said, you know what, Aki said, you know, it's just a mess around, it's a joke, that's what I'm saying. If that's what I'm doing, but you know, I'm just, it is what it is, innit? Like I said, in a mad way, thinking, you know. But he used to call me. He said to me, he's mad then. He's mad to me, you know. He's mad. Which it's funny really. I said, you know what? I'm just a laugh, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously people take the piss out of him, and it is what it is. But because of his fear factor. But when you're actually up with him next to me, you're thinking, fucking hell, you know, he's a mountain.
I see, like, I get it, but I lost all that fear of him years ago, right? Yep. And I'm in a relationship with some girl. It's quite toxic. I'm living up in Deep Space Nine in Runcorn. Get sent home. I've fallen out with her, and I'm on a train. Well, that's all to you by this time, know what I mean? But I'm feeling really at a loss, and I'm feeling down, and I'm sad, you know, you know, the relationship's not working out. I wanted it to work out, and I looked up, and there was Purple Aki sitting opposite me, looking at me, and we recognised each other immediately. Yeah. And I wasn't even that asked about him sitting there as it was. I was just more like concerned about how I felt, all the hate that was going on. So it started to offload on him. So I was sharing what had just happened, the relationship. Oh, mate, and this is what happens. And he was like, just listening. And he went, he started giving me relationship guidance. Right, started giving me relationship guidance. Telling me a few things that he was quite...
come across friendly, you know.
Yeah, he come across friendly, and he was dead supportive. And he says, yo, Bill, we're still here, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're still here. We're above ground. That's what he said to me. He said, how are you, mate? He said, yeah, I'm still kicking, I'm still alive, still here. And so I got off in Garston, the station, and we went our merry way, and I haven't seen him since. You know, but yeah, it's the same. It's just weird, isn't it? It's growing up feeling like like he's a bogeyman and he's...
Shit, and then, you know, he comes across human.
He comes across human.
That's the thing with, you know, when you're with him daily, you get to know him, and he's, you know, and to be honest with you, there was times when he helped lads through the sentences with his guidance of criminal. He didn't have to do it, but he did do it, you know, and you're thinking, fucking hell, if there's a good side to you, I wish you'd come across more, you know. It's just, what is it with you with this muscle thing, you know? And I always thought to myself, and he said to me, I'm fascinated with, what is it, the autonomy, or I can't even say it, with the, you know, the physics side of, like bodybuilders, you go and get these books, you know what I mean? Get the magazines, and they see the growth and the strength, and he's fascinated by it. But I thought them books themselves, they'd be like the razzle to him, wouldn't it? No. It's a shame, but you know what, on a serious note, you know, the thing is, he's out there, and you know, there's a lot of people now, you see videos going up, and they're chasing him, aren't they? Have you seen, like, here he is that Aki, come here, and they're chasing him, and I'm thinking, is this fucking karma, this, or is it mad, you know? But
I don't even know how old he is now. Like, he must be in his 50s,
60s, I think,
60s at least, and he's you know,
getting on, isn't he?
Yeah,
getting on.
I'd love to interview him. I really, really would. That'd be a great interview. But I don't think that's going to be possible.
The gauntlet's out there, Bill. You know, if he turns up to ours, which I'm thinking one day, because always at the back of my head, that's how he is. 1 minute, there's Aki.
Yeah.
I'd ask him to, you know, if he could generate something, maybe do something for the community, maybe give it back, give his side, show a loving side. And, you know, you never know, do you? It's fucking nuts. But again, you think to yourself, fucking, the fear factor's there with them.
Yeah, there's loads of like rumours going around. Excuse me, that he was the son of an ambassador or something.
Yeah, royalty. Nigeria.
Some people say yes, some people say it's full of shit. Some people, I don't know. What I mean. Did he ever have any friends?
See, all his questions is what people, the public,
want to
like,
know. Yeah.
Want to know, because you see on Glastonbury, you see like flags with Purple Aki, and obviously anything that you put on YouTube about him or whatever, there's a lot of interest, you know.
Yeah, he's known worldwide. He is.
Worldwide.
Yeah. And we've been fortunate to have that experience. I wouldn't say fortunate, but we've been in them positions where, situations where we've been around him. You know what I mean? And I've felt the fear. I've seen him, like...
Stephen French seen him, didn't he? And Stephen French said the same thing to him, didn't he?
I've seen him in courts, right? Because that was, like I said earlier on, I was a regular attendance at courts. And he used to have a few of the lads in the toilet doing press-ups and squats, you know, shitting on his shoulders and stuff like that.
Fucking shit, that.
Shitting on theirs. They're not like, innit?
Well, that's the worst thing about it. Them lads must have felt horrible, and that's getting abused. I hate that though. That's the way. That's you got to draw a line, thinking if that's the case, then that's what it is. And it's for me, it's a behaviour that I will never accept. You know, because if it was your kids, you go fucking mad.
Have you ever spoke about this before? Have you ever been on any of the podcasts?
Well, yeah, I was on Sean Atwood's podcast, believe it or not. I shot it about 8 weeks ago. Yeah. He got in touch with me. And but there's been a lot of my eyes are starting to open a little bit, because he hasn't uploaded my video yet, and I've seen videos where they're like, he's a wrong and he's done such and such. I don't know the ins and outs, you know, but it's on the lines where he's got some sex worker to dress up as a young girl, and
yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah,
and say, who's the daddy, or somewhere, which is...
I heard that from you, to be fair. You mentioned that to me because you told me that you'd uploaded. Was it a picture? Yeah. And all of a sudden you were getting...
Well, I put a picture, but I was made up thinking, you know, Sean Atwood, he's got like 500,000 viewers, you know, and all his podcasts on the true crimes. And when I got asked to go on there, I was a bit dubious at first, because obviously there was a lot of thing about satanic paedophiles and Prince Andrew, and I was like, listen, I'm not all about that. You know, I don't want to be my fucking picture next to a fucking satanic fucking... I think anyone who's into that, or even listens to that, is, you got to have something, you know. I'm not into... I'm like, no. Do you get what I mean? You hear things about paedophilia and straight away it's like, fuck off.
So you were getting called?
Yeah, so what it was, Bill, I'll be honest with you, I made the right tit in myself, but at the same time, I just acted. I put on a photograph, like, you know, a selfie. Look, I've just done a podcast with this fella, expecting loads of people to go, oh, he's right, mate, he's up that, he's sound there, he's top of the pops in podcasts, you know what I mean? And then all I got was nonce fest, friends and nonces, I was like, what the fuck?
You took it personal?
Straight away, I'm like to this lad, hang on, what the fuck are you trolling me for? Are you calling a fucking nonce? You cheeky cunts. Anyone would say that to me personally. Yeah. It's going to be a fight in it. I don't care how big or whatever small is it. I will confront that, you know, because I'm a good, you know, I'm proud, I've got a lovely daughter, and, you know, you're just not into that. And I hate even talking about that because it's just not. But when I got labelled with that, I remember going fucking mad. And to be honest with you, I went on the ale that, I think it was the second night, because it wrecked me head. Because people were jumping on. I'd done a song. I did to be fair, I did see a video that you'd posted on Twitter, and I felt a little bit embarrassed for you because the way it wasn't you. Yeah. You were pissed. I was just raging, you know.
You were raging, you were calling everyone out, you were like,
I'll fucking kill you, I'll do this, because the thing is, you know, I always
glad you deleted it, to be honest.
I had to delete it, Bill, because my missus was like, what the fuck are you doing? I said, I'm fucking not, because when I had a few drinks again, there you go.
The rage,
the rage, the violence, seeing someone call me an nonce. I'd done like an Everton song. I mean, obviously football, you know, was a passion. I'm an Evertonian, and I do songs, and you know, I made a couple, and it was made up. Most of the people going, oh, nice one. Your kid loves all that stuff, and then you get all the opposite side, the Reds, you know, and they're like straight away nonce. Checkers hard drive out, and then with the Sean Atwood, I just seen fucking red. I was like, look, there's no way in this world am I going to accept that. Where you should just say, don't feed the trolls, you know, let them call you. But for me, it's like, hang on a minute, that's below the belt, you know, and that's it. And admittedly, I was in an age, and I was like, I'll fucking take it on the tobbles or the cobble. I don't know what I said. But I was raging, Bill, and then the next day I was like, look, relax, don't bite. Yeah. It is what it is. You're going to get that. Even on these comments today, you're probably going to get one or two jumping on board and saying whatever. But you know what? That's life. Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? It is. You can't avoid. Winners or warriors or keyboard. Warriors, they're out there. Don't feed the trolls, Just delete them, block them straight away. Anyway, moving forward. How's your life today? Well, without the lockdown, Bill, you know, I'm fit and healthy, and I'm, you know, to be honest with you, I've controlled my old drinking. I do like a pint, but I'm saying I don't. I've learned the hard way, if you get what I mean. I don't bevy, you know. Try not to bevy. Occasions, say, like for instance, except when you're on Twitter calling everyone out. Yeah, but that was the last rage, you know. Yeah. But that's what I'm trying to say. You know, my life's great. I'm in a great relationship with Karen. Fantastic. She's just so kind and caring. Yeah, brilliant. Is right. 100%. My daughter's done very well. She's got a great job at the Food Standard Agency. She went and passed the degree, and to be honest with you, it's, to me, that makes me proud and dead happy, Bill. And the friends around me, like yourself and Shane Aries out there, you know, it's just a close circle of lads who we can talk, and to be honest with you, mate, that's all I need in this life. I feel happy, you know. I'm full of positivity. The COVID, you know, this is a lot of people at the moment are like. I mean, I ended up being an entertainer. You know, with the singing and that song alone with the Purple Aki got me to where I am with the getting gigs and stuff. All that out of a negative with the prisons and all the stuff got you a positive. Yeah. The song and that. I've known you for a couple of years now, Jeff, and I've just think you're a guy that wants to help out people who are struggling, and you're supportive, and you're very nice, very very generous as well in your ways. You've done a few favours for me around entertainment with the family and that, with my brother and that. So I appreciate everything you've done, and you coming on. Is there any pearls of wisdom, any years of experience, any guidance you can offer
the people out there?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of soldiers that are in the army and the forces, and there's when you leave the army, whether there's got to be a settling period, like what's the one we used to, you get them deep sea divers and they go diving and like a compression tank, where you've got to come out of the phase of thinking, because with soldiers, you're totally, 100% fit. You got the fighting mentality, kill, twist, kill, and you're full of venom. And when you come out, you'll see society in a different light, because obviously you think, hang on a minute, I've just served me, I've done this, I've done that, and it was your choice, but you get this mentality. And excuse me, if you've been in like combat situations with, I think that most recent lads have been to Afghanistan and stuff like that, which is a bit more heavy than Northern Ireland, but it's the trauma.
Yeah.
Seek counsel, lads, and be wary that the law is the law, because in the army, you could go and, you end up every time, there'd be like piss-ups, and there'd be always straightens or fights. That was a way of just getting rid of it, but there'd be nothing said, if you know what I mean. It'd be like, oh, he had a fight, he punched someone, or he's done that, but the next day was all forgotten about. But in civvy streets, you go out and have a fight, you'd end up getting nicked, you're getting assault, you're getting done for assault. It's a major thing, it's a crime. There's people, there's the British Legion, there's SAFA, there's all sorts of help for soldiers. Likewise, young kids today as well, obviously Darren G's going on with the choose a life and not a knife, stuff like that. Kids, if you're ever contemplating, all the scallies, all the catwigs out there, they're all like what we wear, and they're full of euphemism, and that energy can either be channeled into goodness, where, say for instance, you got loads of aggression, then put it into boxing, or sport-wise, the UFC. There's loads of gyms out there like yourself. I mean, obviously, the lot.
Yeah, and I agree. It's a lot of things. I work alongside an organisation called Nexus, which is weapons down, gloves up. It's about like delivering guidance and talks to kids who are, in dysfunctional kind of ways of living. So yeah, I agree. And Jeff, lovely. Trust me. Hello guys, if you've enjoyed this podcast, then subscribe here. Follow me on all social media platforms here. And my guests are here. Thank you.